WCBI News at 6 starts now.
Good evening, everyone. The number of people in hospitals and the care they need takes a sharp increase today. Thanks for joining us. Mississippi health experts report 862 new COVID-19 cases today and 23 deaths. 1,272 people have died in the state after being diagnosed with the virus. The Mississippi State Department of Health reports more people are in the hospital today with confirmed or suspected COVID-19. This is the most since the pandemic started. There are also record numbers in ICU and on a ventilator. In our viewing area, Pontotoc County has the most new cases with 27. Lafayette, Monroe, and Lee followed. Governor Reeves and MEMA announced an emergency relief program to help cities and counties financially impacted by COVID-19. MEMA was issued $70 million from the CARES Act. That money will go to local governments to help foot the bill from costs caused by the coronavirus pandemic. Governor Reeves says while the threat of the virus continues across the state, he wants Mississippians to know the legislature is working to get them help they need.
Hopefully, it can help keep more people on the job and can prevent more layoffs. I know that it is not enough to overcome the terrible cost of COVID-19, but it is something. It is a start, and it is necessary. And we're going to do everything we can to get it out quickly and efficiently.
The application process opens August 3rd. Information on how to apply will be available on MEMA's website at the end of this month. Monday, the National Junior College Athletic Association announced plans to push the majority of fall sports to the spring. Here in Mississippi, junior colleges are usually located in rural communities like Scuba or Fulton, and no sports means no outside traffic. Our Cash Matlock talks with Scuba residents about what this means for business in a small town. He joins us in the studio with what they had to say. Cash.
Joey, for smaller communities, tourism dollars are a big deal. Even though the Mississippi Association of Community Colleges hasn't officially voted on whether or not to move the football season to the spring, those I spoke with today say it's a decision they'd be open to.
If you're driving through Scuba, you have to pass one of the two gas stations located at the intersection of Highway 16 and 45. Inside one of these stations is a local food joint called The Junction. Monica Brodden is the supervisor.
We have tons of people coming in, we get tons of orders, and we have a lot of people that comes through, a lot of fans.
Those fans are usually on their way to a sporting event, but this year might be different.
It will hurt in a way, but again, I don't think it will hurt as much because we'll get that back in the spring when it starts.
Scuba Mayor Craig Nave carries that same optimism when it comes to moving the fall football season.
I don't think that the business is going to be, impacted by it hard. The football games and the people coming in town, they're just an extra, incentive that's coming in.
I don't think it'll hurt the revenue of the local businesses at all. I think we will still thrive during the season, and we'll thrive even more in the spring.
Both Brodden and Nave are on the same page when it comes to the coronavirus. It's better safe than sorry.
I think they made the right decision, to postpone the season, if that's what they decided to do. This virus is still spreading like a wildfire.
For the safety of the public, the citizens, I think it's a great idea to move it to the spring.
Well, as of right now, there is no word on when the MACC will vote on the national ruling.
Pretty warm out there today on our Tuesday, and if you've been with us yesterday and earlier today, we did have a 10% chance for a few isolated showers or thunder showers in the forecast for today. That's what we have right now. A very isolated cell just southeast of downtown Louisville here, right along 397. Some heavy downpours, very isolated, lightning strike or two. And that's really about it in our area right now. Whatever we do have will go away early this evening. Most of us enjoying a lot of the sunshine and very warm temperatures in the upper 80s to low 90s. The heat index still around 100 in West Point. So assuming those showers go away quickly, will be partly cloudy and then mainly clear later on this evening. Lows tonight down into the lower 70s, mostly clear. Pretty quiet tonight. Mid-90s again tomorrow. A slightly better chance for maybe a few more widespread scattered storms in the afternoon. But the heat index will be climbing back above the century mark. Your full forecast in just a few minutes.
A man is airlifted to Jackson after an early morning shooting in Wcbi County. Sheriff Tommy Roby says deputies responded to a shots fired call on Grissom Road around 5:30. The shooting victim was identified as Bobby Hidler. Deputies say they have a person of interest in the incident. Does remain under investigation. Anyone with information is asked to contact the Wcbi County Sheriff's Office. A 70-year-old Tupelo man faces aggravated trafficking of methamphetamine charge. George Gutierrez was arrested by the Lee County Sheriff's Office and North Mississippi Narcotics Unit on Monday. Agents served a warrant at his home and say they found 5 pounds of meth, 2 firearms, and a large amount of cash. Investigators say they've been investigating Gutierrez for the last several months. More arrests are possible. The next time you visit the Ole Miss campus, you might notice a big change. The 30-foot Confederate monument that has been standing at the Circle on University Avenue for over 100 years is gone. Crews spent the day relocating the statue to a cemetery on campus. As Quentin Smith reports, those who pushed for this change said they always had faith this day would come.
This is the statue that was once the most prominent image at the center of campus at Ole Miss. Now the statue has a new home. Work crews spent hours relocating the statue to Confederate Cemetery. It's a move Ole Miss graduate Leah Davis says she's happy to see.
It's been a long time coming. I think my initial reaction was it's about time.
See, Davis helped write the initial resolution to have the monument relocated.
It's a huge, ugly reminder of the history of the university, how the university was built, regarding integration when James Meredith integrated in 1962. And I just think it was definitely time for the university to put a more positive foot forward and to say that, you know, this is not something that we want to welcome our students, our new prospective students, and our alumni back to campus.
She says it took a lot of hard work and dedication from herself and other student organizations to get to this point. The recent graduate always remained hopeful that the relocation would happen. Now she's excited because of the impact it'll have on those coming after her.
My sister's starting at Ole Miss in the fall, so she can walk onto that campus and I'll have that monument when she goes to class every day, when she walks towards the James Meredith statue.
Just last month, trustees on the institutions of higher learning approved the relocation. And while Davis is happy the monument will have a new home, she's not happy about the future plans to spruce up the cemetery to highlight its latest addition.
That Confederate cemetery was kind of hidden on campus and it was just being maintained. And so that's the reason why the statue was requested to be relocated there. And so I don't think that any more glorification should happen to Confederate symbols whatsoever. So I think it's very disheartening.
The Confederate monument has stood tall on Ole Miss's campus since 1906. The relocation cost to bring it here to Confederate Cemetery will cost just over $1 million. That money will be privately funded. Reporting in Oxford, Quentin Smith, WCBI News.
Chancellor Glenn Boyce issued a statement saying today's relocation is a meaningful change for our community. To read his full statement, you can go to our website, wcbi.com. Meanwhile, the race to fill the District 37 State House of Representatives seat is starting to move forward. David Chisholm of Columbus is the first person to publicly announce an intention to qualify for the special election. Republican Gary Chisholm retired on June 30th. Governor Tate Reeves has yet to set a special election date or qualifying date. District 37 covers portions of Lowndes, Clay, and Oktibbeha counties.
Residential construction in West Tupelo is driving commercial development. We'll have that story coming up on WCBI News.
You're watching WCBI's News at 6 with Joey Barnes.
Welcome back. Tupelo's residential population is moving. Now retail development is following it. Allie Martin has more on a multi-million-dollar commercial project going up in the All-America City.
For about a week now, crews have been busy at this parcel of land on Cully Road. They are laying the groundwork for what will be Market Center number 2. Iuka-based Brooks Grocery will anchor the $5 million project, which will also include other retail spaces.
Neighborhood shopping centers are becoming a really thing of the future because the big shopping centers that's got the massive parking lots and all the massive crowds are not as favorable as the neighborhood shopping centers now. It's just a trend.
Jess May is the architect for the project and says Brooks Grocery and retail spaces will attract customers and other businesses.
Along this Coley Road corridor here, I think this is going to help develop other businesses through here because, I mean, there's going to be a lot of foot traffic coming from the residential areas around here that will come through here, and other businesses I think will pop up in the area to catch some of that traffic coming from the residential areas.
For years, grocery stores went to other parts of the city, but recently residential construction has taken off in West Tupelo, and that's left a void in commercial development.
Tupelo is pretty well served in most categories, but on the west side of town it's heavy populated, and most of the new development housing are on this side of town, so the need for a grocery store has been here for several years, and now I think this will be a real additive to the neighborhood.
Cleveland says COVID-19 hasn't hampered construction on Market Center 2 or other commercial projects. In fact, he says several businesses have expressed interest in leasing space at the retail center. In Tupelo, Allie Martin, WCBI News.
Now, Cleveland estimates Market Center 2, that is, could open within 10 months. And they've got perfect weather out there for some construction.
Hot, dry though.
Dry.
We're drying things
That's
out.
important.
Still a few isolated showers across the region right now, but this evening, just before 9 o'clock, the International Space Station will zoom on in from the southwest, visible for 6 minutes. Again, just before 9 o'clock, 42 degrees above the horizon. Your full forecast is next.
WCBI First Alert Accuweather forecast with Chief Meteorologist Keith Gibson.
Summer keeps rolling along. Hot today, hot again tomorrow. Let's check it out in Starkville. Tomorrow morning we wake up in the low 70s to mid 70s about 7 o'clock, and then we skyrocket back into the 90s. Now there will be a chance for some spotty showers and storms across the region. Starkville included in that. The rest of Accuweather County for you in Mabin, Sturgis, mid 90s here, about 94-ish. It would appear triple-digit heat in the seas. Now, just looking at where we could be this time of year in Starkville, this puts things into perspective. So we're going with mid-90s for the next week, but it's been as warm as 108 degrees. That's the old record high tomorrow in Starkville. So it could always be worse. Now it's going to feel like the triple digits around here, but at least the actual temperature won't be that bad. Columbus, Louisville, Mississippi, Vernon at Durham's Pharmacy, and Tupelo today, our Alpha Insurance Camera Network, our time lapses. Some friendly clouds overall, but we have still managed to pop a few isolated showers and even a few weak thunder showers across the region this afternoon, one of which is popping up and probably raining itself out just southeast of Louisville right now along Highway 397. There's another little batch out here in the Delta quickly falling apart, and even more activity down here across the southern part of the state that will be falling apart this evening. So we'll go mainly clear tonight. Quickly going into the early evening hours, there's a frontal boundary draped across the region. Southwest of that boundary, much more humid, and that will be coming back our way as we get into the next few days. So it's hot, but it doesn't feel as bad as what it will tomorrow. We're back into the triple digits here for the heat index. Thursday, Friday, the weekend into next week too. Maybe anywhere from 100 to 110. That's a pretty good bet just in general here for the next week. So just drink plenty of water and stay cool. Get your work done early or late, not necessarily during the heating of the day. Low 70s tonight. We talked about this earlier. Mid 90s expected everywhere here on Wednesday. If you do see some of those clouds or some of those isolated showers or storms, expect a brief cool down, some downpours, a little bit of a nice breeze to cool down. But if you don't see one of those things, it is just going to be plenty hot. So in the morning, pretty quiet. We'll bubble up some clouds, and during the course of the afternoon into the early evening hours, there could be a few scattered showers and storms across the region. So don't be alarmed if you get a little bit of rain tomorrow. We've had a lot of wet weather this year, and this is just par for the course this time of year, spotty showers and storms. You don't see a lot here painted on the map for Thursday. Can't roll it out either. And really for the next couple of days here, The next week, with your Accuweather 7-day forecast, we're just going to broad brush a 30% chance of rain each and every day. That's a safe bet this time of year. Highs in the mid-90s. The heat index, again, 100 to 110 each and every afternoon. Lows in the mid-70s, very muggy.
All right, thanks, Keith. Official changes made to the high school fall athletics season. More on that when we come back.
CBI Sports with Courtney Robb is brought to you by your local Ford dealers. Go further.
The Mississippi High School Athletic Association deciding the fate of fall sports this afternoon. The good news, the 2020 football season will be better late than never. The executive committee approved a plan that pushes practice back until August 17th, and game 1 of the season will move from August 21st to September 4th. 1A, 5A, and 6A will also play 10 games, whereas 2A, 3A, and 4A will play 9 games this season. The bad news, however, games in the original first 2 weeks will not be made up. That means we're losing a lot of very good non-division games, such as the Little Egg Bowl, Noxubee County, and Louisville. And this is a fluid situation, so we will keep you updated as that information becomes available. Alabama week continues on the high school football tour. Stop number 23 checks in with the Lamar County Bulldogs, continuing on a rebuild. Take a listen.
WCBI Sports 2020 High School Football Tour is brought to you by Itawamba Community College, Cannon Ford of Starkville, Monroe County Farm Bureau, Max South Broadband, and the Bank of Vernon.
Vernon is loaded and ready to go for the 2020 season.
I would say the desire to be out here, it's a fun spirit this year. These guys are looking forward to every day they come in excited to be here, and to be honest, they would stay here all night if we'd let them.
Coming off a rebuilding year, the Bulldogs are ready to get back to winning.
You know, last season seems like start to finish, we kept getting in our own way, and we had a lot of struggles throughout the year. And we did have a young team and a young nucleus, and you know, we had 2 very successful years prior to that.
Last year we kind of struggled to be a team. This year we're going to try to make a team better.
I had a really bad attitude last year, and I think this year if we go into the season with a better attitude, we should come out better with a better record.
However, that was just a bump in the road for Vernon. In terms of turning things back around, Bradford says it starts with focusing on the team's core values and playing a Vernon style of football. As to what that entails, Bradford says
a passion and a desire to do things correctly. You know, when it comes to your effort level and your technique and, you know, being accountable to your teammates.
I'll come together as a family and a good coaching staff, and got a good group of big people, big kids.
The Bulldogs always look forward to fierce rivalries that Lamar County has to offer, such as Sulligent and South Lamar. For those matchups this season, the Bulldogs want to come out on top.
There's really good football in Lamar County with South Lamar, Sulligent, and Vernon all together, and so it's usually a war whenever we come together.
We're going to try our best and not take them down this year. I feel like we have all the skill, all the technique we need to beat basically anybody.
Step 1 of getting those wins on the board this season, leadership.
This is going to be another year of us being extremely young, but you know, not necessarily that we're looking at not being successful. It's just we've got a lot of new players and a lot of kids that are moving up from the junior high program, so we're really excited to go in and see, but there are question marks on both sides of the ball.
Vernon starts the season off with a road match against South Lamar on August 21st. With the Bulldogs on the high school football tour, Courtney Robb, WCBI Sports.
WCBI Sports 2020 High School Football Tour with Lamar County High School is brought to you by Alicia Clark of Alpha Insurance in Vernon, Shop and Save, and J-San Flooring Professionals.
That's it for sports. We'll have more for you when we come back after the break. Stay with us.
Members of the Haven Acres Boys and Girls Club are using their artistic skills to create a mural with a message of unity in downtown Tupelo. The artwork was inspired by some of the members' drawings. The young artists spent a few days converting this downtown alley into an art installation. They say they hope the messages of unity in the mural impact the community now and for years to come.
People come over here every day. We over here now, right?
That's right.
Every time people walk past here, they say, wow, look at the kids painting. They're doing pretty good.
They are doing pretty good. The Tupelo Junior Auxiliary Provisional class helped the children paint the mural. They also provided snacks and water for the pint-sized Picassos.
Color there on the wall. It looks like we have a budding rainbow here in Louisville, just to your southeast with that dying shower. Wow, look at that. There could be a pot of gold down there somewhere. Go and fetch it. All right, weather-wise, we got mid-90s here. The heat index 100 to 110, lows in the mid-70s, and just a daily chance for some scattered showers and storms. Joey, July continues.
They have to share that pot of gold with us, don't they?
Bring it up to WCB. I would love to see it.
There we go. All right, thanks, Keith. Thank you for joining us, everyone. Have a good night.